failed.
Well, I see it more as closing a business that wasn't profitable.
Failed.
I was making a business decision.
Grant Cardone was right. You tried to play the game and you failed. You suck. You lose.
Right when Grant Cardone told me,
I don't love the business that you want to go into.
I feel like I took more heed to what he said because at the same time, the market hit a wall. So all of a sudden, the prospects for future construction work started drying up very, very fast. In addition to that, it's very difficult to balance full-time real estate sales, a family with 2 sons, a real estate career, and starting a construction business. Something had to go. It wasn't going to be you guys either.
It was really business administration that failed me in those darn finance courses.
Bitch, don't blame college for your failure. Go stand in line with everybody else if that's what you think made you fail.
Are these 2 people FaceTiming each other? Because I don't think they're in the same place.
Well,
Failure.
I guess if there's one thing I learned that I can say without a doubt is, well, that you have to be there. My second business was one where I thought if I developed the right systems and had the right people in the right places and had the right tools and the right insurances and assurances, that, well, everything would just work out really well and be okay.
You really thought you could grow a second business by throwing clients at it and not be there?
So stupid.
I just thought it'd be a no-brainer.
Somebody's got no brain, that's for sure.
I think that's another point where the business administration sort of failure comes in, and that's the thought that, well, gosh, you learn in textbook cases that if you have controls, if you have systems in place, then a business should be able to operate itself with the proper management. And of course, there has to be proper supervision of those managers. But the problem was, the big problem for me was that I'm a perfectionist. So I know that if I do something, it's going to be perfect for my clients. But if I now defer to 5 or 6 new employees that I'm trying to train, I don't have that same guarantee, because ultimately there's no way somebody that's working hourly is going to have the same enthusiasm that I have for the business.
I thought if I did everything right, I'd be able to grow. I bought a van, I bought an app, I had liability insurance, I had workers' comp, I had insurance for mold, insurance for asbestos, insurance.
Wait. Who do you think you are, like Best Buy or something like that? You just opening another location?
It's true. One of the most interesting things was I feel like my company had more success when it was myself and 2 employees, and we did not yet have our contractor license. So we were basically working illegally for about 6 months until we had our contractor license. And our clients didn't care. They're like, that's cool. You know what? Kevin's going to take care of us. Like, we're not worried about it. Yet for some reason I had like internalized this. Oh, no. It's wrong. I don't do things illegally. For God's sakes, I have a drone license. Who goes to an airport to take a sit-down test for a drone license? This is ridiculous.
We had our permits, we had our state licenses, we had our city licenses, we followed OSHA, we had the fire extinguisher within 75 feet of the job site all the time.
You're gonna open up all these permits and business licenses and insurances for a business you haven't even made a buck with yet. Well, it makes sense, man. You got this all backwards. You're trying to start at the top. You gotta start at the bottom, man. One step at a time, my friend. You don't even got a corner coffee shop.
This bad Kevin guy's got it right on. Honestly, if you're watching this and you're an entrepreneur, heed that advice. Just grow when you need to grow. If you have a restaurant and it's full every single night, that doesn't mean open a second location. Maybe that means, all right, let's consider adding a little mezzanine so we can fit 4 more tables in. But to immediately go from, we got a full restaurant, this is perfect, let's double our size. Fatal mistake.
How much revenue did you have when you bought that van?
0,
And how much revenue did you have after those 18 months?
400,000.
And you spent 700 grand. Stupid. You're stupid. There's nothing else I can say to you. You're dumb.
That's true, and here's another lesson to take away. Is I think I was blinded by the vision I had that, well, society needs this. This has to work. And then you get slapped in the face with the realization that, oh, wait, no, people would just prefer to call a regular handyman and spend $25 or $35 an hour for a handyman, as opposed to have a licensed contractor that has mold insurance and asbestos insurance and liability insurance, but then charges $80 an hour because guess what? People don't think about the insurances you have up front. They think about that when you get a problem. Then they care about that. But not up front. People don't value that up front. I didn't realize it. I thought everybody would. It's like, whoa, a general contractor, got insurance, got this. And then immediately people are like, ching, dollar signs, this guy's going to be expensive. Blech.
Look at startups. Every startup loses money. I mean, come on. That's why they're called startups. They're money-losing pits, and then sometimes they make it. This was my startup.
Brew, that works if you're making a return on your human capital. But as long as you're not making a return on your human capital, you don't make big capital expenditures on your business. You think Amazon is going to spend $100,000 on a new bit of machinery if their employees making $60,000 are costing them $80,000? No way, my friend. Once their employees are making the company $180,000 and they're costing $60,000, then the company's going to start thinking about expanding.
Here's another business takeaway, is I thought to myself, wow, if I ever open a company again where I have multiple employees, which we still have employees now for our real estate company, but if I were to open another company in the future, I would probably go from the angle of, I will hire employees when my revenue equals 5 times whatever their payroll is. That'll actually help cover mistakes and incidentals, plus still making a profit. So this is why companies that are like tech firms that make millions of dollars per engineer that gets paid $200,000 and they make millions of dollars, this is why they can pay these big salaries, because the income multiple is massive. But in construction, the income multiple doesn't exist. There's no multiple. It's like maybe you make 20% on your employee's labor. That sucks.
God. I figured if I invested money into this, it would give me a greater return than anything the market could return, because I could probably double or triple my money.
Man, what are you doing?
Well, I guess at least I admitted I was wrong after multiple people told me the same exact advice. Well, maybe I can take this as a learning experience, and I can capitalize on the mistakes I made and help other people by preventing them from making the same mistakes. I think maybe I could open a business as a business preventer of sorts.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'll do. Is I'll open a business selling consultation services, and I'll just tell people whatever their idea is, it sucks and don't do it. I'll get a lot of 5-star reviews on clarity.fm for show.
You know what? It's decided. I'm going to double down. I'm going to provide more to my clients. Maybe I'll even simplify the process of real estate, and I'll start actually using my loan license and open the lending division.
Holy dude. Stop trying to go into the highly complex, low-margin businesses like construction or lending. Why don't you keep doing real estate, which is high margin, low risk?
Yeah, here's another business lesson. Is go where the margins are. I mean, look, if you're doing Shopify drop shipping and you're selling product for a 10% premium, go find that 50% premium product. And if that don't exist, then do you even want to spend your time Shopify drop shipping, because maybe it ain't making the money you thought it would be making. It takes too much time. Those magical unicorn products out there or whatever. Oh, and if you're going to flame me in the comments about what I just said about Shopify drop shipping, make sure you let me know exactly what your unicorn product is in the comments. So, just so I can verify what you're doing.
Did you think this through at all?
But what about the market crashing?
Prices already fell. Go buy a deal in the wedge.
But I don't have any money left.
You need 5%. Get out of the Galeria Kaufhof, stop spending your money, and go buy something. That's the easiest way to keep going, my friend.
Yeah, there's another business lesson right there. Is take your money out of business ASAP. And stop working for your dollars. Put your dollars to work. Once you make money, invest it into something. Honestly, I don't even care what you invest in. Obviously, you all know I'm a real estate guy, and I would encourage you to invest in real estate because I think you can make many more multiples in real estate than you can in stocks and so on and so forth. But It's coming from a real estate guy. I'm super biased. But one thing I know that's for sure is when I buy a property, I'm pretty much broke. I got no money left. And then I don't have any money to spend. But when the bank account is flush with money, I go into a store and I'm like, I'm buying new pots and pans. I don't even cook. I'm buying new silverware because the other one had a little bit of rust on it. I'm buying this, I'm buying this, I'm buying that. Like, humanity has no self-control. So if the money is in the bank account, it is going to get spent. That's why I don't save. I spend my money on real estate investments, so I can't spend it on anything else.
Really, folks, I wanted to give you some sincere takeaways here, and the big ones to me were I really thought I could have a second business by throwing money at it and hiring what I thought were the right people and putting them in the right place. That was a big mistake. You know, and a lot of people say, oh, well, you should have just kept trying to hire different people. I did. I hired a total of 21 people, and it ended up with 6.
Just a quick break here for another business lesson on Grant Cardone. He says that employees don't cost money. And he's correct. He's correct in that good employees are supposed to make money. So good employees in construction are supposed to return, say, 30% or 20% on whatever their payroll is. They cost $60,000, well then they should be returning $78,000 to the business, 30%, right? But Grant Cardone has a bunch of sales employees, and the cool thing about sales employees is that most of the time you can get away with only paying them a commission. So if they don't actually sell product, Grant Cardone doesn't have to pay them anything. Again, brilliant business model. Gotta hand it to the guy. He is capitalizing on sales. Oh, and guess who the easiest people are to sell stuff to? Salespeople. And guess who Grant Cardone's #1 target is? Salespeople. Car sales, real estate agent sales, corporate sales, telecommunications sales, you name it.
I went through a lot of different people to make it happen. It's not that easy to find the right folks to help you out. And even when you have them, you still have to be there, because the bottom line is, no matter what, efficiency goes in the toilet when you're not there. There's just no getting around that.
Another business lesson there. Even Grant Cardone's at his office a lot. He's there for the sales meetings. He's got his office there. It's because he can pep people up, cheer people up, and guess what? When he's walking through the hallways, people are going to at least pretend to work a little harder.
But I guess the good news is there's really no shame, or there shouldn't be any shame in saying that, yeah, Uncle G was right, and so were a lot of other people. I think the problem was I just refused to internalize the advice people were giving me. Anytime somebody gave me advice that supported my business idea, it was like, oh yeah, of course, this is a wonderful idea. And anytime somebody gave me advice that was sort of contrary to my business plans, it was like, nah, all right, good advice, I'll think about it. And then I never really did.
There's something called confirmation bias. I think a lot of you have probably heard about this, but this is definitely another business lesson. You really should almost write down the advice you get. And if I wrote down all the bad advice, basically, I got, well, advice, I should say negative advice, not bad advice. See, this is the psychological problem. I internalized the advice I got as bad advice, when in reality it was just negative advice. And if I had just, like, Benjamin Franklin listed all this, and then listed the good advice, the good feedback would have been like this long, and the bad feedback would have been like this long, and then I could have drawn the lines and gone, oh my gosh. But instead, I literally got confirmation biased of myself.
And so that's why I say that Uncle G moment where he was just like the 20th person to say the same thing made me realize, like, wow, maybe I do need to start thinking about what people are telling me.
Now, coming right up here is going to be another good business lesson, and that's that when you're operating a business, it's really easy to just put your head in the sand and not look at your numbers, because you're caught up in the day-to-day stress of the business. But you really need to set aside that time to zoom out and look at your reports and your statistics. And then you start realizing, oh my gosh, we bid that job at $30,000. We're not done yet. And we're at $32,000 in costs. Like, what? So taking a moment to like step back and actually analyze your numbers, crucial.
The profits that I thought were coming in weren't actually as profitable as they seemed to be, and instead there were a lot more losses that just hadn't been realized yet. And I'll make sure to keep providing more awesome information for you folks. Thanks again for watching.
Go buy a deal in the wedge and wait. Just go buy a deal and shut up. Stop coming up with new business plans. Because you suck.